let's go ahead and get started. So, as you guys know, I joined the project literally 4 weeks ago today, 1 month today, the 21st. And I've been working with Senya on really kind of understanding her mindset of where she felt some things could be improved. The other day, I spent hours digging through the feedback and suggestions channel, literally taking notes and wanting to understand the perspective of this community from you all's voice. I've been a member of this community since day 2 of Mint, but we all have different perspectives about what's important and where we want to go. And so I do want to reiterate that we have been spending this time ensuring that we can keep the heart and integrity of the project intact while also listening to our community and giving them more value, giving them more, giving you more involvement into your pieces and what they will mean to you. So in the last few weeks, we've really been digging into that feedback, into what we have given you, what we still can, where we still need to work. And we've come up with a game plan that is really exciting. What I love is we'll be chatting, and Senya is from Russia. And so when we talk, we can't talk vocally. We type to each other, and she uses a translator. And so it is kind of a long task. And there's, of course, moments we're lost in translation. And so every time we have a meeting, we have one of these incredible moments where she'll respond. And my favorite one so far is, "I want to join your flight of imagination." I literally screenshotted that because I just loved it so much. And these moments where we say to each other, "I am smiling ear to ear. I am so excited of the path that we are going to move forward on for the Rebel kids." So I'm going to pull over here to the Medium article so I can kind of go in order of how this is going to go. One of the things that is really important, I feel, in this space is we have to give people a reason to care. And we only care about characters that we know something about. They have a background, they have a story. And so it was really important that we wanted to give the Rebels a story. And that's something that Senya had already started by telling us that the Rebels received this invitation to the mansion. We've already let you know that. What we haven't let you know, although we teased at it the other day, is that, we already told you at the very beginning that the Rebels were going to receive a letter, an invitation to the Haunted Mansion. But then what happens from there is something that we want to explore now. And the only way we can really create a story is to create new characters. So our original collection was meant to be that 6,666. We closed minting at 3,333 because we minted at the gas wars where there's 30 projects a day. The timing really wasn't great. And so we decided, instead of doing a launch later this year of the exact same Rebels, that we were going to create brand new characters that would allow for us to create a rich and dynamic lore and narrative. So I think most of you have probably already seen the teaser video that we posted. And what we want to do is we want to create a story that we can tell just like this. Little short podcasts, 1 to 5 minutes long, little episodes that give you little snippets into the Rebels' lives so that we know what's going to happen to them. That first video we posted, we said, she receives this, she's excited. It would be an unforgettable night, but would the world remember her after she was gone? And so we are letting you know that the Rebels go to the Haunted Mansion, but they do not come back, at least not yet. So our Rebels have disappeared. They are missing. We need new characters to find them. So that is going to be our next collection, which we will be releasing this coming year. The collection is going to have friends and family. It's going to be, teachers and police officers and newspaper reporters, the people from the town. Then they're going to have to call in some other people to help them out. I don't want to give away too much. And then there might be some people who also want to cause some misdirection along the way. So that's our big next step, giving the rebels new characters, not elephants, Rune, not elephants, giving them new characters so that we can create a story, and more so we can create mystery. So that's going to carry us into the lore. The lore will have these little episodes which will have a mystery component to it. Why? Because our sandbox game isn't going to be, as Ksenia says, it's not going to be a shoot 'em up game. It is going to be a game where you get to explore the lands and solve mysteries. Now, Sandbox is going to take time. And this is something that we hope everybody understands. We have to build this voxel by voxel. There are no shortcuts, and we don't want to take shortcuts. We want this to look insane. We want it to be epic. Full disclosure, we had hired 2 other female artists to help start Sandbox, and the Vox edit program is so non-intuitive and difficult that both of them were like, yeah, I don't think I can do this. So we are building. It is slow. It is one of our main goals to get other artists on board to help us with this, to help with the speed and progression of it. Let me just throw this out there. If there's anybody out there that's like, I want to give my hand at Vox Edit and see if I can help, we're welcome to have people come and see if it's something that they're good at and want to help with. But it's going to take time. One of the things I am most excited about is as we build these little areas, you guys all saw the crypt yesterday, right? We can actually give you guys the ability to go and just visit small parts of the property. So even though the whole mansion, the whole property is not done, we can still unlock the crypt for you all to go visit. And so our sandbox game overall is going to have a mystery theme to it. But what we would like to start doing moving into the new year is every so often, and I'm not going to tell you why because it's part of the mystery and the lore, every so often events are going to happen. And these events are going to be opportunities for you to collect clues and to solve riddles. And they can happen right in our Discord, but they can also happen in Sandbox. So that is another direction that we are excited to explore. In the coming days and weeks, we will be sharing with you a list of features that you can expect. We are working on planning out the entire property and creating a map. We'll put that on our new website because we desperately need a new website. We are going to be sharing more sneak peeks with you, more works in progress, screen recordings, and like I said, we will even host events that will allow some of our holders to visit these places even before full progress is complete. So, the rebels are not gone. I think that is one of the most important things that I want to stress. This is us not saying, well, we tried the rebels and we're bringing in new people. This is to enrich the story of the rebels. The rebels are the entire heart of this project. They are the key to it all. They are not gone forever, but it is our job to find out why they went missing and how we can bring them back. Our rebel holders will continue to be rewarded and involved in every step of this. And because we will be shifting some of our attention from the rebels, I don't even want to say shifting attention, and I don't even want to say splitting attention because that's not it at all. The rebels are the people, the lore, the land is all about. Because we are expanding our collection, we want you to be prepared that we are going to be rebranding and possibly renaming the project. One of the things that I heard when I went through your feedback and suggestions starting all the way back in August is there seemed to be a little bit of an identity crisis. We're called kids, rebel kids, but we are wearing BDSM, we're drinking wine. And there was a little bit, I think, of a discrepancy between, it didn't mean necessarily kids being underage, it meant rebel-hearted, it meant youthful. But we don't want to keep that identity crisis going. And now that we are expanding to a lore-based experiential game, we want to make sure that we're including our new characters and the game and everything in our brand, in our name moving forward. We have not decided what that is yet. You know, if you guys have suggestions or ideas, please bring those forward, but we haven't had that chance to sit down and talk. I've given Ksenia some really awesome things to start creating for us, including the airdrop that will happen on New Year's. And so I don't want to take up too much of her time with our little details other than on our specific meeting days. So events will take place in Discord and in our Sandbox, and they will happen at a regular interval. I'm not going to tell you what that is because that's part of the mystery, but it will involve having an opportunity to gather clues and riddles and solve the mystery. Some of these clues will come directly from us. Others will come from other artists, other NFT projects and brands. Some of the items will be directly related to the story and the narrative we are telling, and some of them may truly just be for fun and to reward our holders. I also love the idea of saying, hey, our clue this month was sponsored by this artist. If you hold one of their pieces and a Rebel, we have a bonus for you. So we are going to be partnering up and doing a lot more artist collaborations. I do also want to share, I know that we have so many talented artists in this community. While we are looking to partner up with projects and artists that are on a larger scale for marketing purposes, I am not going to forget you in the process. If you are an artist and you want to be involved and you think it would be fun to create a little derivative piece for us or be a part of the clue, or if you want to help me with the lore podcast and do some like derivative art for the podcast, little 1-minute clip, talk to me because I want to bring you into this. We really want to keep our community at the center. So we are going to be really stepping it up with Twitter Spaces and podcasts. We want to get the name, the project, the new direction out to the world. We also know that that's going to take more. So we are talking with some marketing experts to see what else we should be doing in terms of other platforms. I did make us a YouTube channel. We are going to be having a few small contests and challenges where we might ask you to change your PFP to a Rebel, use certain hashtags, and try to create more buzz and impact on social media. That's one of the things that we've definitely noticed is the lack of engagement both in Discord and on Twitter. We are fully aware of it, but we're also fully aware that you guys are busy. And me personally, I come from a mental health background. I used to travel the world talking about mental wellness and my own victory and success and warrior survival over mental illness. And I also don't think it's healthy that we're in Discords 24 hours a day. So finding that balance is going to be important. But in addition to creating these challenges, creating new ways to reach them, we are going to be working on a new website. We are going to make sure that our website, our OpenSea page, our Twitter, and our Discord all reflect these changes and ensure that the messaging and direction is consistent among all platforms. And I want our new Sandbox property map and our new project roadmap, which is not yet ready, but is in the works, to be a feature on our new website. So the last part of the Medium article, which I will post once we are done, is just letting you know that at the end of the day, we're only as strong as our community. I personally believe who I am is that when we treat our community with respect, when they feel rewarded and engaged and supported and heard, that's when they are most excited to be with us, to stand with us, and to share with us. So I want to take care of you all. I want to expand and reward your holdings. I want to give you more to be excited about and create an active, dynamic, and community. Having you support us on Twitter, getting your tweets and likes, your retweets, and all of that can help us. Staying engaged in Discord, even though I know we all have a ton of them. Information about airdrops, pre-sales, free mints, giveaways, events that will only last 24 or 48 hours. Those are going to be most talked about in our Discord. So it's important that you're stopping in, keep your announcement notifications on. And most of all, if you have any comments, suggestions, please feel free to come forward with them. I want you all to feel comfortable knowing that, number one, we know we have a lot of work to do. We know we have a lot of room to grow. But we know we can't please everybody. We know that not every single holder is going to love this plan, but we do care about your thoughts and your feelings. And if you have something constructive that you can bring to us, we will absolutely listen to it and consider it, because we want to make this about us, and we are the rebels. So that is our action plan. And I know that was a lot. That was a lot of me just sitting here talking. I want to go ahead and give anybody an opportunity who wants to raise your hand. You can come up and speak. You can type in the general chat. While I have everybody here, I have 10 people listening. I want to make sure every single one of you has gone to Notes from Mama channel, clicked the reaction to earn your live event role. This will give you access to the POAP, and it gives you the option for me to raffle. I'm going to pick 3 people who attended to be a part of our lore and our sandbox. So I'm going to give you guys a second to do that. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand. Like I said, you can type in general chat. Some of this information and questions that you all might have, I might not be able to fully answer because of the nature of it being a mystery. Like, I could tell you exactly who the new collection is going to feature, but I don't want to, because our lore and those little episodes are going to lead you to figure out who it is. And so there's a part of that we really want to keep that way. All right, suggestions for names: Board Rebels Club or Crypto Rebels. So I'm going to write these down. You guys might hear me typing here. Board Rebels Club. I have a feeling we won't go with that, especially because it's not going to be very boring anymore. Not that I'm here. Crypto Rebels. I just like Rebels. And there are a couple other projects named Rebels as well. You know, one of the things that I keep saying, and I love the way that it sounds, is I keep saying, you know, the rebels were born in 2021, but their legend begins in 2022. And so I kind of like, I like the play on legend, because legend is also a story, and we're really going to be developing this really rich lore and narrative. And so part of me likes, you know, the legend of the rebels, or, you know, something along that. Isn't there also a movie quote that legends never die? Or maybe it's Goonies never. I don't know which one that is. I also, you know, had a play on the whole idea that maybe the mansion is on Rebel Hill. And so it's not so much that we're the rebels, but that our town is called Rebel, or the mansion is called Rebel. I like everything about the project, even though I suck at keeping up in Discord and creating a Rebel derivative. You know what? Listen, I am the first person to admit I'm in probably 30 different Discords. I have them in folders based on what I care most about. So I admittedly have Rebels at the top of the list, Cranky Critters, where I'm a mod, is second, and Raptor City Rascals is third, and then everything else is in folders. And there are ones that I don't check into, okay? We all do that. What is hard from our perspective, and I do hope that you guys know that I'm in no means like complaining or shaming or anything, is we have things that we want to talk about, but we don't have people looking or listening. And so as a project manager, as somebody who's like, all right, this is really cool, I'm going to do this, and then I drop it and then literally get 2 responses, it's like, okay, we have a problem here to fix. And so obviously getting engagement and having a really realistic idea about what engagement means is going to be an important step for me, because I cannot expect that this Discord tomorrow, because of this announcement, is going to have 90 people chatting all day. You know, it's about realistic, it's about growth. And that's the other thing that I want to reiterate to you all too, is that we have these plans. They are going to take time, and it's not going to happen overnight. And so what's going to happen is we're going to release these plans. People are going to get excited. Just like when I started and we announced something, people were in for like 5 or 6 days and then nothing. And so kind of understanding the way that that's how NFT spaces work, but also trying to at the same time create things that will motivate people to come and stop in and chat with us, because that's what we need. We need people to put eyes on us. How exciting about Baron Davis, 1 million followers, guys. That's not a paid anything. He literally messaged us and said, I want a Rebel. Sold out. And I messaged him back and said, well, you can get one on OpenSea. And he did. So that's really exciting. And so that next part of that is when somebody comes in to see our Discord and they see that it's me and Kristen hanging out with a couple of you. You know, that's one of those things that we understand needs to have some boost to it. I'm okay with basically any name that has Rebel in it. Great. And let me ask you guys, and I've admittedly I'm over at the chat and not looking to see if anyone's raising their hand. Nobody is. You know, I don't know how many people had an issue with the word kid, but it was brought up multiple times. And I'll admit for me too, one of the first things I said to Ksenia was, I think with the lore, we have to make sure like that we reiterate if they're kids, they're college students. Like we are not putting ourselves in a legal bind of, you know, even though this is decentralized and all of that, you know, the mentality behind it is, you know, keeping that optic a little bit higher there. Mental support really hits for me. Absolutely, Kat. And Kat, you and I talked a little bit the other day. I'm also very open about my mental health journey. And I think that's one of the really cool things about rebels in general. If you're just thinking about what a rebel is, it's somebody who says, I'm not going to fit in your box. I'm not going to be who you want me to be just because that's what you expect. And I really love that about the art. And I love that about just the colors and the vivid, I think it's cool that it's like both creepy but beautiful, and it's both colorful and dark, and it really lets us play with that idea of you don't have to be one thing. Rebel Hunters, the new collection, or it could definitely be Rebel Hunters. Thank you guys for these ideas. Some people overthink things, indeed, but in general too, Braven, we are not going to just be the rebels anymore. The rebels are going to be the key. They're going to be the heart. But now we're also going to include, and I will let you guys know that it will be, there will kind of be 3 groups of people involved in the new mint. And we're also playing with the idea, and I do not have the mental capacity to think about this, and I can't, and you guys can't hold me to this either, right? Because things are still in development. Let me stop there for a second and just say this. We had the option, and we discussed the idea of going dark and quiet. We were going to take the month of January off and let you guys know that we're building something, and we are. But we didn't want anybody to feel pressure to show up. We didn't want to feel like we were going to do all of our messy work in front of you. And I said, I'm sorry, but like we have to keep building the momentum. We've gotten some of our momentum back, and we can't just let it go quiet in January. And so that means that we're going to be building in front of you, which means dust and construction mess and times where we might have to say, you know what, guys, this is the direction that we really want to work in, but the way we first imagined it isn't just going to work. And so we need to make a little bit of an edit. And we know that that comes with risks of people getting pissed off and being upset and being like, well, you said yes, but we also want what's best for this project, and we want what's best for our holders. And if we come across something that just isn't going to work from a technical standpoint or just doesn't make sense, because we are building this in front of you and not in private, we want to include you. That does mean that there are going to be opportunities for us to change and choose some redirection to ensure that we're doing the best thing for everybody involved. So I definitely just went on a little side tangent there, but I think it's important as you're kind of building in front of people, is that since we are including a new group of people. And like I said, there's going to be 3 groups of people, but don't hold me to that. I'm not going to tell you exactly who they are in case we go, hey, this needs to shift a little bit. It isn't just about the Rebels anymore. It's about their town. It's about the mansion. It's about the mystery. It's about solving it. And so those are all just some things to kind of churn around in your mind and think if you can think of any names. So I'm going to be quiet here for a second and see if anybody has anything else they want to say. I do want to make sure, because we said somebody come in here towards the end, that you've gone to Notes from Mama and you've collected the live event roll. Friends, if you have done that under our social category, there should be a new channel for you called Events POAPs. In there is a Google file. When you click on that, a list of links will become available. I just ask that whatever link you choose, you plop your name beside so nobody else tries to click on that and then takes out a ticket and tells me it's broken when somebody else had just already claimed it. So, all right, I see a couple people typing, so I am going to go ahead and let those people bring up any questions. Again, if you want to speak, please. Where is the events channel? The event POAP is under social. Oh, thank you. I'm excited that you like it. We've been working really hard. And it's interesting too, because Ksenia and I are very different people. Artists, I'm an artist too, but because I'm a performing artist, I think my standpoint's a little bit different, but I'm also a business owner of 10 years. And so I've had to learn how to market myself and be more the front of my business. But Ksenia really kind of wants to work in quiet, and I'm more of like no, what are you working on? Let's do this. Hey, can we have a meeting today? And so we're really learning about each other and finding a balance and a compromise on how we can really utilize both of our best attributes. So it's been really fun, and every time we talk, we always have moments where we're like, wait, is this what you mean? Oh, okay, well, maybe the language barrier is that. Okay, well, this is what I mean. Okay, great. Yeah, no, that really excites me. And so I'm just like grinning ear to ear thinking about it, just all of the wonderful moments that we've had collaborating so far and how we have so much more to give and offer as we keep working together. I get a real Archie Goonies comic book feel from the art as a whole community. Groups, gangs, expanded stories, how these stories interact is a great way to build this project story. Absolutely. So one of the ideas that actually Fat Baby, and I don't know if you guys know who Fat Baby is. She's an amazing artist. She's non-binary and is just doing so much in this space for inclusivity and diversity. And Fat Baby, when she found out that I was the project manager, because I'm pretty loud in her communities. They all know who I am. She came over and bought 8 or 9 Rebels. And we are actually going to do a Twitter Spaces with her the first week of January. She and I are going to meet up and do a Twitter Spaces for Rebels. But she had actually said on one of our things, I would love to see this as a comic book, which, guys, we've discussed that. We also know that Sandbox needs to be our first priority. Like, we want to create these characters so that we have lore to build the sandbox, because they go together. If we build the sandbox first, then we're kind of locked in to what we can do with the next collection. By kind of doing them all at once and having the story encompass the characters and the lore and the sandbox, we have a lot more room to play and build really perfectly for what we're doing. But she had said that she wishes it was an interactive story like Deadlandia, which I have not seen and I've been hunting for, and apparently it has not yet been released onto Netflix. But basically it's an interactive story where you can choose the ending, that the audience gets to choose the ending. And so I cannot promise that that's a direction we are moving into, but I can let you know that it's definitely something I think about every day, and I'm trying to figure out ways that I can make it interactive and immersive. And so I'm kind of taking the lead on the lore part of it. Partly because we are going to make it into little podcasts, and I am a professional actor. If you didn't notice, that was my voice in the first one, but I can't play the voices for all of them, so I am reaching out to some of my acting friends and trying to get some of our voices included, other voices included into it as well. But having the story be able to go, okay, we've recorded episode 6. Maybe we can let our audience decide. We can let our community decide which direction we're going to go for episode 7. And knowing really where the end is, so knowing that we can't stray too far, but giving you guys that ability to, all right, do we want to hear from the school teacher next, or do we want to hear from the little sister next? Those sorts of opportunities. A podcast story is a great idea. Thank you. And I think, too, the other thing is, we don't want a podcast to be an hour long. This isn't going to be like, a full TV episode. These are little 1 to 5 minute clips because people have lives. Bye, Kat. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I'm creating more noise for you, but I am so grateful that you came. You will be included in the raffle, and make sure you get your Poe app. You should check out Life is Strange. I'm writing it down. Okay, yeah, no 1 hour podcast. Literally that little clip that I gave you guys the other day, that little 1 minute, I'm talking about that as a minimum and like 5 minutes as a maximum if there's dialogue. It needs to be something that's easily shared on social media. People aren't going to sit down and watch an hour-long thing, nor do we have animators and things like that. We want to build our team, but right now, we have our tech team, which is kind of in the back. They are tech on a couple other projects too, but since they've already launched the contract, they're just kind of in the background. Ksenia and me, that's it. And then we have Kristen as a moderator. And so it's not like we have an animation team and a story team and a marketing team. Like, we are all really working together to do this, and any input, like that's what I said, if we have any people who are like, hey, I'd love to create a little derivative for a 1 minute episode, great, I will take it. All right, let me go see what you guys are saying here. All right, suggestion, there is Alethea AI project where you can buy soul for your NFT and make it intelligent. Result of fusion of soul and NFT is INFT. You can speak to it, train it. Wow. Give it personality. I suggest to take a look at it. Maybe 1 soul for our project. Imagine talking ghosts when you enter the website. Wow, that's a really cool. I'm going to definitely look into that. Again, I can't promise anything. I'm not the person making big decisions, and I'm also not the, the person who's able to make that happen from a technical standpoint, but I've written it down. And actually, I wrote down your name instead of the name of the program or the project. I missed the very start. Was their announcement about the 3,300? Just wondering if anyone has ideas of implications of cutting these off or doubling the supply. Okay, so Lon, that is one of the things that we have definitely talked about, and we've looked at the pros and cons of. The biggest reason that we are going to be expanding the project is to bring in these other characters that can be a part of the lore and a part of the game to act as our other adversaries, friends, experts, things like that. I think it's important to know that we're not going to do these on the same contract. We don't want to dilute the rebels. The rebels are going to be the center of this. They are not going away. The rebels are also going to be rewarded. So this is one of the things that we want you to know, and I can't release all of this information to you because of the mystery component and because some of the technical sides that we have to work out. But if you decide you just want to be a rebel holder, you will still be rewarded as a rebel holder. If somebody comes in and just wants to hold the new collection, they can hold just the new collection and they'll still be rewarded for that. If you have both, there will be additional rewards for having both a rebel and the new collection. This is one of the reasons why we want to do a rebranding and a renaming, is because we will have the rebels, but we're also going to have this new collection that is not on the same contract, but is a part of the same project. I'm hoping that the way that I've communicated that makes sense. So we have looked at You know, what happens if we add more? We've looked at what if we don't? How does the story develop? How does the game develop then? And it makes it a totally different game and a different story if we don't add these other characters. We feel like we can enrich this project by adding new personality, I don't want to say new style because it's still Senya's art. It's going to be the same style, but obviously a rebel is going to be different than maybe a townsperson or the other two. I can't tell you all the information. The other two types of characters are going to be pulled in. I see Howie and Duchess Betty typing. Make sure both of you claim that live event spot. Is there an integration with the familiar and the stickers? So one of the things that I'm being most careful about of the stickers is back like a month ago, the SEC and OpenSea really started cutting down on projects who were offering internal currencies. Now, this isn't technically a currency, but it is a traded item, right? You earn stickers by holding, and then you turn them in for things. And could that be misconstrued as a currency? So one of the things that I want to be sure of is that with the stickers, we are making sure that we're not possibly doing something that's going to get our page removed from OpenSea, right? Like that's the number one thing. But it is the plan and it is the intention that stickers will be redeemable for items in the game. And let me just throw this out there as well. So we're going to have these events where there are going to be clues and there's going to be riddles, and say maybe you really love this clue and you'd really like to mint it. Maybe you could turn in some stickers to keep that clue forever in your wallet. So we have ideas for how that's going to work. As for familiars, that's another area that I will admit we have not fully explored. Obviously, we wanted at the very beginning to have 10 sets of familiars. One of the initial ideas was that if you had all 10 familiars, a familiar could follow you around in the game. That is something I have to really leave up to Ksenia and understanding her knowledge of Sandbox. One of the not bigger complaints, but one of the things that I read through in the feedback from you all is that the familiar style didn't really match the Rebels. And so I want to make sure that moving forward with familiars, if that is a path that we want to take, that it really feels like it fits with the new theme and direction and brand that we're moving in. I really want people to look at this art and go, whoa, like, that's Senya, that's Rebels. I don't want there to be any confusion there. Hi, Howie, you won your prize, but my last day to claim it was on Saturday. Yes, unfortunately, Howie, we did have a 24-hour time limit on that as we want to reward those people who are checking into Discord as well as hodling. But if you are listening, which let me see if you are. He is not listening, so this is pointless. I'll have to reach out to him if he can jump in. Hi, hold on, you guys. Jump into Bewitched Ballroom. Somebody tell him that I'm talking right now, so I can't really respond to him. Fair is fair, you guys. I am really one of those annoying people who I'm like, I'm sorry, the rules were announced. They're the same rules for everybody. But hey, if he jumps in and he could win one of the contests right now. So hey, that's just who I am. You'll learn it quick. Unfortunately, I was an elementary school teacher for too long. I dealt with parents and students and, oh, but we didn't know that the homework was, yes, you did. So that's just where I get that background from. All right. So I'm not sure what I was talking about. I'm not sure if there's any other questions we have going on. I know we were talking about familiars. I really want to make sure that everything we do moving forward is very recognizable with the new brand. And I think that's about it, unless you guys have any other questions. I do have a Medium article that goes through all of this. I have also recorded this, and people are going to just have to listen to me, going hoarse, speaking over myself here. Let's see. Howie, can you hear me? Let me make sure he can hear me before I talk to him. Yes, unofficial advice for sure. That goes for the people who've showed up late too. Big Bucks, I saw you in there. And if you guys didn't know, Big Bucks is my hubby. I'm Mama Bucks because he's Big Bucks. He just went out and picked me up dinner and took the kids out so that the house would be quiet while I did this. All right, Howie. So if you can hear me, hopefully, we did have a rule set that you had to claim within 24 hours to receive that prize. But since you are now listening live to this, if you head to Notes from Mama, you can go ahead and hit that reaction button, and I will be doing a raffle of 3 people to win from that lure, and possibly, maybe, you would win that spot again. But unfortunately, that is the rule that we had, and it's so important to be checking into Discord on the daily. I know I'm annoying with the pings. P.S. I totally missed notifications in the flood of all Discord piles, by the way. Might not be worth tagging people specifically. So, Duchess, that was actually one of the things that we had decided is, we could have tagged people on Twitter and Discord, but we really wanted to make sure we were rewarding the people who were showing up. And so I know that seems kind of brutal. Can I share with you? We had an even more brutal plan. And I let Senya know that I thought it was brutal. But we decided not to go through with it. And I'm really glad that we did, because I think we would have had a lot of really upset people. But we were going to wrap up the raffles today by sending everybody a stocking. And if you had your Rebel listed for below mint, you were going to get coal. And I was like, oh, that is brutal. I was like, that is brutal. But there was going to be a reward in the stocking if you weren't, if you were listed at mint and above or delisted, you were going to get a reward. And instead, I was like, well, that might be a little bit much for hey guys, we haven't been active very much. We're back. But, hey, you get coal and you get something better. So instead, we decided to go ahead and do the airdrop for New Year's. So everybody, regardless of whether you're listed or not, will be receiving a airdrop. Masters, so if you have 1 to 9 rebels, you'll be receiving Rebel 1. And so I think I posted this in the announcement. That's going to be 1,200 people are all going to get a copy of Rebel 1. And if you're a Grand Master, there's 37 or 38 of them, you'll get a copy of Rebel 2. So there will be a lot less Rebel 2s, but it's not a whole, everybody's getting their own new Rebel. It's just a nice little way to reward you for the new year, show you that we're still working, and just, shows good spirit and good cheer. And definitely, if Senya drew the coal, it would still be a collectible, right? I know. I just could imagine the people being like, what the heck is this? You can't shame people for listing. I could imagine all of the people getting upset. But don't worry, we're going to have lots of fun rewards in the new year. I cannot wait to start these events, to start working with other artists and other projects, to get Senya to be drawing us new things, and to have these opportunities for you guys to really, start getting new pieces of art and being invested in the story and getting to see your own pieces be a part of this, and say that this is the end of the recording. Thank you for listening.